So I hope I haven't blown up your mind too much with these ideas of what it will be like in the future. As I said, I'm talking. Hello, I'm Hayden.Bloomfield and welcome to the channel. So Tesla will pay us all. What am I on about? I'm talking about in the future having universal income as a whole for humanity to live on, regardless of your working position. Whether or not you work or not, you will have a sustainable living wage for nothing. Sound too good to be true? Well, stick around to the video as I'll dive into why, what the purposes will be, and what this will mean for humanity. Because one of the biggest questions, if you're anything like my mum, will be, well, what are we all going to do when we haven't got jobs to go to? Let's dive into exactly what we will be doing. Firstly, what am I on about? So, what is income support? So, to give you context, currently, if you live in the UK or elsewhere, I don't know how it works. I'm not really sure how it works in the UK entirely. But it's a case of if you're out of work and seeking work, you can get an income to support you. You're talking like £80 a week or something. So it's like not really anything to live on, but it's a little something to help you. I don't really know what it helps you achieve at £80 a week, but it's something that if you're out of work, you can claim in order to help you while you're getting back into work. And through that, you also get support in terms of getting interviews and opportunities and working on your CV, how to become more employable and gain more skills in that. But what I'm talking about in the future is us as a species, as all individuals being paid an income, whether that's from a certain age or not, I'm not sure, but it will be something where the economy is in such a strong position that we can all be paid and wage just to fulfill our daily requirements in terms of living requirements so that we can be homed, fed, clothed, with a little space for recreation, I would say. So like in today's economy, if you live in England, probably something along the lines of 30, 40 grand a year, maybe more. Sound too good to be true? Then let's dive into why exactly. First, I'm talking like 2050 onwards in the future. I can't really see it being sooner, but we are talking multi-decade futures away from where we are today. And that's all around the introduction of humanoid robots, as well as the emergence of AGI, artificial general intelligence, to a point where technology and robotics will be able to achieve the work of any human to a better standard, more efficiently, quicker than what we are capable to do ourselves. Initially, this will be to take over mundane, monotonous and dangerous works, placing those before it then starts to replace all work that humans do. You've seen this already today in like the 2020s with self-checkouts and other little robotic machines that can get us from A to B. Just like think about what you can do on your phone now that would have taken someone before. Even like going back in times of like elevators would have had someone actually there with a pulley system to take you on your floor. It's something that people have strong opinions about, whether they see it as a great emergence of technology or a hindrance or even the destruction of human value in terms of all our jobs being taken away. You might start to wonder, what on earth am I going to do if I'm not working? Because at the moment, for a lot of us, if we're working full time, it involves 35, 40 hours a week doing a job with another hour, 2 hours a day commuting to and from, to the point that our lives, Monday to Friday, are often wake up, get ready for work, go to work, be at work, come home from work, get home, have dinner, get ready for bed, sit and relax for a bit, go to bed, to get back up again, ready for work again. And that is our life, 5 days a week for 40 weeks of the year. More, less for some of us. The concept of a job has only existed for the last few hundred years. Before that, yes, we did work, and as such, it was more of a case of work, exchange value, exchange product items, where I had goats, you had vegetables. Oh, you need milk, you need cheese, whatever it is, I can swap that in exchange for you. And it was only, as I said, in the recent, I think it was Henry Ford or whatever, that created the context of what we understand a job to be now, was created, 100 years ago or so by Henry Ford to keep us in that structured work. I'm talking about a future of work will be a choice, because with humanoid robots and AGI, it means that humans don't need to work. And so, for example, take my industry as a gardening company. I could employ a gardener to go and look after gardens full time, Monday to Friday, and they'll do from 7:30 to 4:30. And of that time, productively, it would be 7 hours or so productive work on site. With a robot, however, they can be working faster, eventually in the future, as well as more efficiently, safer, and they'll be able to work for 20 hours a day with minimal rest. Yes, there'll be times when they need to be serviced, maintained, or whatever if there's ever any problems, but ultimately they'll be able to work triple the length of time, double the length of time, and forecasting way out to the future, it will become so much cheaper to have robots going out. So as a company, if you employ robots, or if you're the company that manufactures the robots that license them out, you're talking vast sums, vast profits, and the economy, when you look at the global economy, the global GDP, how it's increased over the recent years, looking at the last few hundred years, that is growing exponentially. And with our global economy, like 80, 100 trillion today, that is going to go in the future, most likely, into hundreds of trillions, into quadrillions, to a point where we actually see private companies to a market value of hundreds of trillions, if not more. I'm probably sounding absolutely bonkers right now, but stick with me. So in this future where there is an abundance of energy, abundance of renewable energy at that point, an abundance of labour, quintessentially, the economy is limited based around labour, what our output is, what can we achieve and create and accumulate for the world. And that is limited by the work that people can do. What labour can we achieve? If you eradicate the limitation of labour from the equation, the economy essentially becomes limitless. We can produce to no limits, or to a limit that we cannot fathom. And when we get to that point, we won't need to generate income because it will be the market, the economy will be flooded with that income to support us as humans. It's really getting your mind around eradicating this mindset of humans need to produce, they need to give an input of their time in order to produce this output, because that input can be replaced by a different form, that being robots, whether humanoid or other robots, or even just AGI in general, that can achieve that output much quicker, more efficiently, and therefore we won't have to do it. So what does it mean for us? I mean, you're probably getting an idea from, if you've seen WALL-E, what our future looks like when the planet's destroyed and we're on a spaceship sitting in a chair and don't have to move. I'd like to think that's not going to happen, but the key thing, and it's something that I've started to experience in my own life, where I'm working part-time in my garden business and I'm spending the rest of my time in recreation, I'm starting to get an insight into what life will look like. Yes, for some of us, like, what's the expression, like on the dole, or if you are living on benefits as such, there are people that take advantage of that system there to help those that are in need. There are those that are in need and are physically, mentally, emotionally incapable of working in the format that we see productive, of having a job, holding a stable job. And there are those that, as I said, take advantage of that, where they will sit at home and ultimately do nothing, go to the pub, maybe go to betting shop. I'm like talking stereotypes here, so forgive me on that. But ultimately, for a lot of us, it will allow us to do the things that we do in recreation. What do you do when you're not working? Not what do you do when you're not working. The question is, what do you want to do when you're not working? What do you want to spend your time doing? What do you find your innermost fulfillment in? What do you find your innermost joy in? What do you really feel happy when you are doing? That might be work, and work will be a choice. I'm not saying none of us will work. I'm saying that the conversation of growing up won't be what job are you going to have, what career are you going to have. It will be more around, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want from life? We have the question of, when you meet someone and it's like, oh, what's your name, what do you do? That question of what do you do, the answer, the mindset, the framework around that is, how do you make money? What is it you do to generate an income, to pay for things, to pay for life? Whereas that will take a whole new definition there. The format will be around, what do you do, is quite literally, what do you do with your time? It's not around what do you do for work. It's because this is something that I'm starting to struggle to answer myself. Of like, when someone says, what do you do? I'm just a bit flabbergasted of like, what? Oh, I have a business that I've reduced down to just a part-time role as such. So I work in a business part-time, own a business part-time. I make content, I go skateboarding, I'm a trader, I'm an investor. I'm starting to grow these list of things of what do I do, but they don't follow the format that we understand as the status quo of, this is what I do to make money. And so it will become a time of, for us, we follow our purpose, what we want to do. This I appreciate, and this is for another video, can like completely change the structure of life and existence itself. If you go to school to get good grades, to go to college, to go to uni, to get good grades, to get a good job, to get a good income, to support your family, to live a successful life, that will all change. It will be a case of, how will education restructure based on the fact that we don't need to work? Will it be more around finding fulfillment, finding purpose, finding productivity? Will it be mindset, mindfulness, helping others, how to spend your time serving, but not in the way that we go to work and serve our employer, but in a case of, like in a monk's, I'm saying this as someone that's never been a monk, but in my vague research of listen to Jay Shetty to be honest, but seeing that life of a lot of time spent in meditation and then your afternoon spent serving the community, helping out in ways you can, whether that's physically by building, being constructive, or whether that's teaching, educating others on your experiences and your expertise. This is where I start to see, so like in my own life, my days are filled with what I want to do. I want to sit here right now and make a video and talk to you about the future of what work looks like, or rather what it looks like when we've got universal income. We don't need to work. I want to spend my time skateboarding. I want to spend my time hanging out with my friends and jumping on every opportunity. So it's completely deconstructing the structure of society, and that's how I see the future. As I said, I'm talking multi-decades out here in 2050. What does that mean for you, and what will your time be spent doing, and do you look forward to it? Do you see this being a huge positive leap forward for society, for humanity, or do you see this being something as a detriment, stripping us of our purpose as such because we're not working, because we're not being productive? But as I said, I see this as a future where work is a choice. You can still go to work and be productive if you wish. As I said, like you have it now with IKEA can manufacture untold amount of items at split second, very quickly, very efficiently, very cheaply. But there will be those that want to go to the artisan to get that unique, one-of-a-kind product, item, service. And that can be what the future will be even more so. And it's something where I see value, huge value being in that. You can go and purchase your furniture in the future from something that's made by robots. Like if you've seen iRobot, the concept, because people talk about, there's literally the example of Will Smith talking to the robot, wherever his name is, the guy that runs the robotics company, and saying like, a carpenter makes a chair and a robot comes along and makes a better chair, and therefore it makes the guy redundant. But what I see in the future is something quite the opposite, is that carpenter's income is limited because he's trying to make a chair, whereas in the future, perfection will be achieved by robotics because there's no human error there. So to have something produced by a human becomes art in itself. To have that chair will be an art form, to have it by a human. It will hold so much more value because it is imperfect, because you can see how it's crafted by a human compared to a machine. And that will start to apply to many more things within our world, whether that's technologies we understand of today, like laptops, phones, but I see it more being around the furniture and items we use that aren't technological. So for example, like books, journals, furniture, even like soaps and such. Just having things handcrafted, artisan works by people. Although we won't even necessarily need to sell it because we've got income, but it can be a case of you can build extra wealth in the same way we have people that are middle class, upper class, rich, poor. But it will just level the playing field in terms of eradicating poverty, hopefully in the future, so that we can all live at this minimal level where we'll start to see poverty have a new definition, I guess, or will it be a different word to describe those that are just on the universal income but still being able to live a fulfilled, happy, content life. So I hope I haven't blown up your mind too much with these ideas of what it will be like in the future. As I said, I'm talking multi-decade, 2050 onwards. But it's something I wanted to dive into, hopefully to give you some excitement for the future and have a positive outlook. And if it's been helpful and valuable for you, it's been interesting, then make sure to like the video, hit subscribe to the channel because you get plenty more around what the future looks like for us out into 2030, 2040, 2050 and beyond. So until next time,